GreenTeaGuru.co.uk offers green tea, white tea, black tea, oolong tea, and we absolutely love pu'er tea with offerings of Misty Peaks, Yunnan sourcing, Munghai, and Shaguan. We regularly visit Hong Kong and Guangdong, sourcing out very interesting and special cakes for your tea table. Green Tea Guru, based in UK with worldwide delivery. Okay, hello everyone, it's Ollie here from Green Tea Guru again with Mark.
Hello.
Limehead Radio.
Hi there.
And we're here to test out another one of my teas. We always love coming to Mark because he has a very interesting palate, don't you, Mark?
Absolutely. It's always very random and unexpected.
And this is why we love it. So today we're going to be trying one of my teas. This particular one is called Jungle Juice.
Jungle Juice?
Jungle Juice, yeah. It is a really interesting tea. Have a little whiff.
I'm quite scared.
Yeah, so this particular tea is it's a purple tea. So in terms of tea, people think of pu'er tea as being right down the end of the track. You know, the last place you go when you're delving through and exploring tea. But purple tea is even more off-piste than raw pu'er. This stuff is found growing wild in Yunnan. This particular cake comes from the area of Dihong in Yunnan.
It smells quite foody.
Foody, yeah. You can't really get a lot. I can't get a lot of the aroma. I mean, definitely the tea speaks a lot more when you're brewing it than from the aroma. It's a bit
the smell kind of
fresh.
What it reminds me of. This might be a bit strange, but what it reminds me of is the smell of when you're cooking sausages and beans.
Okay, I love that.
That's what the smell reminds me of.
Beans.
I was trying to think what it reminded me of, and that's
baked beans. Yeah, okay, I can do the baked beans. And the sausages.
I don't know. Maybe the sausages.
Yeah,
maybe I'm just associating.
No. I think it's a bit sort of a little bit smoky. You could say, tiny bit smoky.
Yeah.
Beans and sausages. I don't know where you pluck this stuff out from, but it's gladly appreciated. So yeah, I mean the great thing about purple tea, not a lot of people know about it. It's found growing wild. There's 3 types of purple tea. This particular type of purple tea is called Sheng. It's found growing wild in Yunnan. It's naturally bug resistant, pest resistant. It doesn't need pesticides. Or fertilizer really to help it grow. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to rinse out the tea leaves. We're going to get the first infusion going, and let's go for it. See you in a sec. All right, so I've just rinsed out the tea leaves. Mark, please have a little whiff and see what you get.
Oh, completely different.
Yeah,
completely different.
It does sort of smell wild, doesn't it?
It's like beans, as in not beans. I didn't mean beans. I've got beans on the brain. Peas. It's like peas.
Peas. All right. Okay.
I'm getting a sort of a fresh, sort of like the smell you get when you go into a greenhouse. That's the kind of.
Yeah.
It's very sort of planty.
Yeah.
That's completely different to.
Would you say it's one sort of smell or a mixture of a lot of things?
It's got something else there, but I'm not sure yet what that is.
Okay. Let's see what I get from it. It's just really hard to define. It's definitely sort of a wild sort of smell, bit smoky, but just I can't really put it into words really. So we're going to do the first infusion now.
Excellent.
Doing about 5-7 seconds, something like that. Now don't be too afraid to push this tea out if you want to. You know, I sort of stick to my sort of 5-second, 7-second rule, but this tea, it's quite hard to get a bitter note from it. A lot of young teas, and this is 2014, a lot of young teas, you will get a lot of very bitter and very astringent notes, but this one is pretty low on the bitterness scale. So it's the first infusion. It's not going to be mega powerful. What are you getting?
It tastes completely different to what I expected. I expected quite sort of well, sort of like peas in a way. The kind of fresh.
So it doesn't taste of what the aroma thought it would give you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very it's quite mild, and I
Yep,
wonder whether
very
that's
mild.
because it's just the first infusion.
A lot to do with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Aftertaste is quite sort of like planty,
Yep.
like what you would expect it to taste like.
So the aftertaste for me is slightly smoky. It's not really very bitter at all. There is a very small, thin line of astringency running through, but it's very welcome. It adds a lot to the flavour. I think it's really not overbearing whatsoever. I'm getting a tiniest hint of sweetness, but it is very, very light on that. But I mean, you can whack this one down. It's not overbearing whatsoever, is it?
No, not at all.
I think really this would make a good tea for the summertime. It's one of those teas that you just keep knocking back. It's not overbearing at all. I finish one sip, I want another one straight away.
Yeah. It doesn't leave. It doesn't leave like a texture in your mouth, like a lot of them do, that taste like this.
It's very thin textured tea, isn't it? It's not thick.
Yeah, exactly that.
Completely. Mrs. Guru's asking for some tea. You're sure you can have some in a second, no problem. Now this is interesting. Okay, what I do get, and from the first infusion, you can kind of get a nudge towards it already. Is not so much astringency, but kind of a bubbly sort of tonic. You know when you have gin and tonic. Skip the gin and just the sort of tonic side of things. Kind of a bubbly texture. Almost as if it's fizzy, slightly fizzy. That's what I do notice, and this is a property of this is normally associated with very expensive teas. Okay,
That's good.
Very expensive ancient arbor pu'ers will have this sort of tonic water effect. So you might notice it further along. Yeah, very, very good. All right, so we're going to do the second infusion now. So we'll leave it a little bit longer, maybe about 10 seconds.
Definitely full to the brim.
Completely. Watching out for your precious audio equipment. Otherwise I'll get a bill through the post. Limehead Radio, 2 Green Tea Guru, please pay for a whole new station. You've spilt tea everywhere. So we just poured out the second infusion, and I don't know, can you still taste any sort of aftertaste from the first infusion on your palate?
Totally different. Yes, I can. Wow, that is completely different, and it doesn't look any different. Normally, you'd expect it to look a bit darker.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the brew here is what do you call it? It's an amber sort of yellow colour, a turning orange. It's not orange yet. It might be in a few years' time.
Yeah.
Talking about aging, actually, I haven't actually tasted any aged purple tea, but apparently this tea, when it starts off life, is pretty bitter and astringent, but it does age very quickly. So this is 2014, it's 2 years old now. I have no idea what this was like when it was brand new, but apparently if it ages so quickly within a few years, then, you know, its aging potential is very high. There are a few aged versions of purple tea. There's not a lot because it's not really it's a tea that's really on the far side of things. People don't pay a lot of attention to it. But
I've never heard of it before today. To be fair,
but I called it jungle juice because to me it's kind of like tastes like the jungle, you know.
Yeah.
And it is wild. It's very wild. As far as I know, Sheng isn't cultivated at all. So, you know, this stuff is from the jungle. It's there's no pesticides or fertilizer used to grow it. It's just clean and pure, and its taste is very sort of interesting. It's not raw pu'er. It's not at all. It just is its own thing, very, very much so. To me, it's a tea that really does. I find it very refreshing. Like this sort of tea in the summertime, I just keep knocking it back.
definitely.
So the third infusion, we're going to push this out. We're going to try maybe about 12 seconds, something like that. See what happens. So the aroma's sort of petering off a little bit. I remember when I did the first sort of rinse and the first infusion, there was a lot of that sort of wild aroma coming off now, but after the third, it's sort of petering away a little bit. It's going more vegetative.
Yeah, definitely.
So this tea supposedly is very high in antioxidants and catechins, which is all great, but to me it's all about the flavour.
Yeah.
Would you say it's a dry tea? It's a sort of tea that makes your palate feel a bit dry afterwards, or not?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I don't think it does, and it's certainly not, like I said earlier, it's certainly still not got that kind of sticky kind of heaviness that lingers in the mouth.
Okay.
It's
quite a bright tea then.
Quite bright, quite sharp in a way,
Okay.
without being like acidy sharp, if that makes sense.
Okay. I think this would make an interesting sort of iced tea. I don't know. I might give that a go sometime, actually.
should.
And guys at home, if you want to make iced tea, it's really, really easy. Actually, all you need to do, you have a normal tea session. So me and Mark will be finishing this off today. With the spent tea leaves, all you do is throw it into the fridge for overnight, so 12 hours or something like that, with I think I'd say about 2 litres of water. In the morning you'll wake up and you can strain the tea leaves out, and you're left with a beautiful iced tea. So you can use your spent tea leaves to make an amazing sort of iced tea. So it's another way to enjoy tea.
It's nice.
Spent tea leaves, a thrifty way of enjoying tea.
Yeah, there you go.
So me, I'm sort of starting to feel quite energetic now. I'm getting a lot of energy through this tea, and a lot of people say that it's called cha chi. So some teas, it will give you a sort of an energy boost, if you like. And I'm starting to feel quite energetic right now.
It's quite awakening.
Yeah. I mean, when I speak to some people, when I go to my shows and I show off my tea and people try it, some people, they turn around and they go, I feel quite uplifted. I don't know what it is. I say, that's cha chi. Yeah,
it's good.
Interesting subject, and there's more videos on Green Tea Guru about that if you're interested. But on the whole, Mark, what do you think about this tea?
It's definitely an everyday tea.
Yeah?
I could drink that happily every day.
Serious? Cool.
Yeah, it's refreshing, like you say. It does feel quite awakening. The taste is not one that I think I would get tired of very easily.
Okay, cool. Yeah, interesting. Well, I personally would love to try some aged versions of this, and there are a few around. But just to let you know, if you did go for the jungle juice, it does have a very good potential for aging if you've got enough time on your hands and you can refrain from digging into it too much. But no, these are available on the website greenteaguru.co.uk. Thank you very much for watching, and keep in touch for more videos.
Happy cupping.
Happy cupping.